One of the things that blew my mind, probably the most ridiculous statistic we've ever uncovered, is that 80% of American workers get paid more than $15 an hour. Because the narrative, the kind of mainstream coverage is, oh, we have to raise the minimum wage to 15 bucks. And the free market essentially has already established $15 an hour is the kind of going rate. And so when you see, as you mentioned, McDonald's going from $15 to $17, it feels in some weird way that people are thinking all the time, like John always talks about his friends, they don't invest in anything unless they think it's going up 10x, right? Which again, like there's one aspect of like, they're probably not wrong, right? Of like, if you're young and you can buy assets and you hold them for long enough, like you probably can get those types of returns over a long period of time. But they're not looking for it over a long period of time, looking for a short period of time. So there's a psychological impact to just everything goes up. But if you could literally take $1 and put it in something that you think, whether it actually happens or not, goes up 10x, what's the difference between $15 and $17? Like there almost is no difference in terms of trying to get you to incentivize to come and actually work, right?
Absolutely. And that's a problem they're going to have to deal with because a lot of younger people are starting to see that. I mean, we have the whole NFT craze right now. People, I know a 15-year-old with $100,000. You really think you're going to get him to work at McDonald's right now? Like, no.
He might buy McDonald's.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's sort of a weird dynamic. I'm seeing these younger people getting into a game earlier than their, parents, their grandparents, and it's money behind it. It's not like other technology where, oh, if you had a cell phone first, whatever, you taught your parents how to use their cell phones. Now it's like, no, I'm teaching my parents how to make more money. I make more than them. So it's sort of weird, but it is crazy to see. Things change.
So take like a 15-year-old like that. Is that something where they just are playing on the internet, they see stuff, they learn themselves, or somebody, a friend, a family friend, whatever, saying to them, hey, look, you should go do this. You're a young person, you understand. Like, how do they get into it, you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, that particular 15-year-old I'm talking about, I taught his mom at a seminar about Bitcoin. She brought him to the next one, talking about Bitcoin, and he just would call me, text me every now and then, like, what should I do, blah, blah, blah. Introduced him to NFTs, and he went crazy because that was more his creative side, and he figured it out, a lot of the drops and things that go with that. And yeah, he's sitting at about 100K worth of crypto right now. And then as far as Bitcoin, our only argument is I always tell him, man, you should stick with Bitcoin, blah, 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 long term. You know how kids are. Just like, no, I'm getting Shiba, I'm getting whatever.
I like the dog. I like the dog.
Whatever's new out there. But like you said, your friends don't invest unless it's a 10X. That's the same kind of mindset he has. Why not gamble? I'm 15. Like, what am I really losing at this point? I have way more than my peers. So, hey, more power to them.
Yeah. When you talk to like a 15-year-old like that, how much of it is around they're trying to actually learn investing and they're kind of exploring markets versus they're actually just saying, hey, look, I want to make money because I want to go and buy other stuff? Like, are they doing it to build a portfolio, or are they doing it so they can go buy cool, he's going to go buy a car or something?
Exactly. It's usually the latter. But the good thing I always say is at least their foot is in the door. At least they saw it's sort of the medicine and the candy. If I can get you with NFTs or I can get you with, oh, you're making a lot of money, what you're actually doing is teaching yourself what investing is. Whether you do it well or not, you're still teaching yourself and then sort of guiding them to that way. Because again, kids, you can't hit them with the hard facts. Federal Reserve is doing this, get into Bitcoin, save. They're not going to listen. You have to get them in some way creative. And being a former teacher, I see how that works. You just get them in there, and then once they're in, you teach them what they need to know. So it's usually the latter. I mean, when I was 15, I was going to buy shoes and dumb shit too. So I understand that, but just trying to shift it a little bit to where it's like, hey, if you're actually thinking long term, you can be pretty wealthy if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, because it's almost like you're teaching them the skill set of investing. Exactly. And now the barrier to entry to invest has come down so significantly that literally a 15-year-old can do it. And then you add in these like super asymmetric opportunities, whether they're sustainable or not, and you take a couple $1,000s or a couple $100 in some cases, and bam, next thing you know, you're like, hey, I'm sitting on a real portfolio that other folks would spend years working. And I'm 15, I'm 16, I'm 20. There's plenty of people at 25 years old, and they're just like, wait, what just happened?
Exactly. I mean, wealth we've never seen before. And again, some of the people who are, around our age, 30s, 40s, whatever, most of them have never seen this before, but they lived during a time where, technology took, so they understand that it's coming. It's sort of the boomer generation that's like, I don't understand how my 401k is this, but this little kid is making, 60, 80. So that interests them as well. So it all works in his favor. Bitcoin wins at the end. So.